Today, on this instructional video, I want to talk to you a little bit about tuning jigs, which is pretty important. Sometimes when you throw out a jig and you bring it in the last couple yards as you're bringing it in, you see that it's not tracking correctly, it's going to one side, or sometimes it even just wants to rotate. There's a lot of reasons for that, but most of all it's because you haven't centered the body of the jig with the shank of the hook. But this is for demonstration purposes. This particular jig I use for salmon and smallmouths here in the Finger Lakes in New York, but I decided to use a bigger one so I can show you pretty much how to do it. So when you put the jig on, you try to center it as much as possible, and it's pretty difficult sometimes, and at times it doesn't track right. So you want to get the jig so it's straight. See how that's not straight? I don't have it centered down through the body of the jig. So instead of pulling it off and putting it on, pulling it off and putting it on, you can tune it so it tracks right through the water. That's a better aspect there. So if you see it in the last couple yards that it's coming down through the water and it's not tracking right, the thing to do is grab the jig by the head, put your thumb near the end of the lead where it goes into the body, and just twist the shank a little bit. It'll change the way it tracks through the water. If it's worse, then you need to go the other way. So eventually you'll get it to track relatively straight through the water. Not every jig is perfect, and sometimes a little bit of a twist is good. But the best thing to do, if you're not tracking correctly and you don't like it, you can change the way it swims through the water just by bending the shank of the hook a little bit. It doesn't take much. So I guess that's the best way to tell you how to do it. And you can also shorten your jigs up by ripping a little bit of the rubber off and doing it again. But I hope you've enjoyed this instructional video, and I hope it helps, and good luck fishing. I have a club online on Facebook called On the Cheap Fishing. Go ahead and visit it if you want to see the rest of the instructional videos that I make. Thank you.